They laughed at her lipstick, smirking at the bright red shine in the middle of a hard-edged Navy SEAL training facility. But when she adjusted her cap and her jacket shifted, revealing the golden patch embroidered with the words, "Elite Marksman," the room went silent. This wasn't just a woman with makeup. This was the sniper they'd heard whispers about, the one whose shot records were whispered like legend. Right finger if you love stories of grit, respect earned through skill, and women breaking every barrier. Make sure to subscribe right now so you don't miss the next jaw-dropping story. The cafeteria line in the naval training compound buzzed with voices, boots thudding against the floor, and trays sliding along metal rails. It was just another noon hour for the group of Navy SEAL candidates who had finished a grueling morning of PT, obstacle courses, and weapon drills. Sweat still clung to their uniforms, dirt smeared across their sleeves, and they all carried that cocky confidence that came with being some of the toughest recruits in the world. But then she walked in. At first, nobody paid attention. The hum of laughter, loud conversations, and the clinking of utensils filled the air. But soon eyes began to shift toward her. She wasn't trying to stand out. She walked in calmly, her boots clicking against the polished floor, her head held high. Her uniform was neat, her posture flawless, but what caught their attention wasn't her presence, it was her lipstick. A bold crimson red. Several SEALs exchanged looks. A few smirked. Others chuckled under their breath. In a place where toughness meant mud, blood, and sweat, who wore lipstick to the cafeteria? "Hey, sweetheart," one of them muttered loud enough for his buddies to hear, nudging the man beside him. "You missed the beauty pageant sign up." The others laughed, trying to mask their curiosity with humor. She didn't flinch. She didn't even look at them. She simply adjusted her tray, moved further into the line, and picked her meal with the same calm precision as if nothing had been said. But the laughter grew. "Careful, boys," another said, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "She might blind us with a lipstick shine instead of a flashbang." The group erupted again. It wasn't hateful, not yet, but it was mocking. They didn't know her. They only saw what they expected, a woman in a space dominated by men. Finally, as she shifted her tray and turned slightly, the room's noise dimmed. A patch gleamed from her sleeve, embroidered in gold and black, "Elite Marksman." The laughter died almost instantly. Silence cut through the cafeteria like a blade. Every SEAL in line knew what that patch meant. It wasn't a standard issue. It wasn't something just given. It was earned through precision, through thousands of rounds, through records set and broken. That patch belonged only to the best. A few jaws clenched. Others swallowed hard. The smirks faded. And for the first time since she walked in, she glanced at them. Calm, steady eyes, not a trace of anger. Just control. Then she moved forward, sat at a corner table, and ate without another word. But in that silence, curiosity burned. Who was she? How had she earned that? And why did she walk so confidently in a place where others still struggled to prove themselves? Her name was Lieutenant Commander Arya Steele. And her story had begun long before that cafeteria. Arya wasn't born into the military. She grew up in a small town in Montana, surrounded by forests, mountains, and long stretches of wilderness where survival meant skill, patience, and adaptability. Her father had been a hunter, her mother a teacher. From a young age, she learned two things: the value of knowledge and the art of stillness. While other kids ran through playgrounds, she often accompanied her father into the woods, learning how to track deer, how to sit silently for hours, and how to shoot with precision. By the age of 12, she could outshoot most grown men in the county. By 16, she had already built a reputation at local competitions. The rifles felt like an extension of her body. But Arya wasn't just about shooting. She had discipline. She studied her targets, read wind patterns, calculated distances without tools. Her mind was as sharp as her aim. When she turned 18, she shocked everyone in her small town by enlisting in the Navy. People whispered, "Why not college? Why not scholarships?" She had offers. But Arya had a different fire inside her. She wanted to push herself beyond comfort, beyond expectation. Her early years in the Navy weren't easy. She faced skepticism, doubters, and the constant pressure of being the girl in a male-dominated force. But instead of breaking, she sharpened. She endured grueling physical tests, endless drills, and mental games designed to weed out the weak. She didn't just keep up, she excelled. The moment that changed everything came during a long-range sniper qualification. The instructors placed impossible shots, targets hidden, wind cutting sideways, distances so long even seasoned shooters struggled. Arya hit them one by one. Clean. Flawless. Not a single miss. That day, her reputation was sealed. She went on missions most never heard about. Classified operations in hostile territories. Recon extractions. Cover fire in the dead of night. Her shots weren't just accurate, they were legendary. Soldiers would whisper about the invisible protector on rooftops, the one who never missed. But Arya wasn't loud about her achievements. She didn't brag. She didn't demand recognition. She wore her patch with quiet pride, letting her skills speak for her. Back in the cafeteria, the SEALs began to rethink everything. After that day, whispers spread. "That's Steele," one finally said. "The sniper. Yeah, they say she once made a shot over 2 kilometers in crosswind. Perfect hit. I thought that was just a rumor. It's her." Respect doesn't come easy in places like that. But respect earned through undeniable skill, through legends proven true, changes everything. Some of the same men who laughed at her lipstick later sought her advice. They wanted to understand how she stayed calm under pressure, how she read the field, how she made the impossible seem easy. And here's where the truth cut deeper: the lipstick wasn't vanity. It was her armor. Arya had always believed in balance, that you could be both feminine and fierce, that wearing something bold in the face of skepticism was a reminder that her identity wasn't limited by her surroundings. She didn't wear it for approval. She wore it to remind herself that she could define her strength on her own terms. Over time, her presence shifted the culture around her. Jokes turned into conversations. Doubts turned into admiration. She trained alongside the SEALs, pushing them as much as they pushed her. And in every challenge, she proved again and again that toughness wasn't about appearance, it was about resilience, precision, and will. One evening, during a live fire exercise, the SEAL team faced a near disaster. A drone had malfunctioned, targets went rogue, and the field turned chaotic. Chaos meant danger. But Arya moved with calm efficiency. She directed fire, calculated ranges, and provided cover with perfect shots. When the dust cleared, the exercise had been saved by her steady leadership. From that day, there were no more laughs. Only nods. Only the unspoken recognition shared between warriors. Her journey wasn't just about proving herself to others, it was about proving that identity doesn't need to be sacrificed for respect. That lipstick, that small act of defiance, became a symbol. To some, it was just color. To her, it was strength. Years later, when new recruits came in, some whispered nervously about the woman sniper with the lipstick. But those whispers weren't mocking. They were awed. They had heard the stories. They had seen the patch. And they knew one thing: never underestimate Steele. Because in a world where laughter once tried to dismiss her, she left behind a legacy that silenced doubt forever. This story inspired you. Don't just scroll away. Hit like, share, and subscribe right now. Because every week, we bring you stories of courage, resilience, and people who shattered limits when the world doubted them. Your click isn't just support, it's fuel to keep telling these powerful stories. Join the movement. Be part of the community that refuses to underestimate strength in any form.